Hello, my friend Sabrina Barella here with your Freedom Track. So welcome to another episode of Ask the Founder. And today's question comes from Javier, who sent me a contact form email through my website. And Javier is asking about how detailed he needs to get when you are determining, creating, figuring out who your ideal customer is. And I love this topic because I actually just did a group call with some of my team members just about 2 weeks ago on this very topic. And I'm actually creating just a small, simple product around this because there seems to be a lot of confusion. I think a lot of people don't go deep enough when it comes to really creating who your avatar is. So in my realm, in the community that I work with, we call it your customer avatar. Other industries or other companies, they might call it your ideal client. And so what that is, just to start out, is when you're looking at your avatar or your ideal client, and I will use those terms interchangeably, but what you want to think about is if you think about the entire group, the community that you are wanting to present your products and services to. Okay, and you never, if your answer is I want to do it to everybody, then you're going to drown. I will tell you right now. You need to have a certain kind of fish, and you need to know where they live and what pond they live in, and you need to know what kind of bait they like. Okay? So you have to get super, super, super detailed. And the more details you know about that ideal client, the more creative you're going to be with your ads, the better your email content and newsletters are going to speak to people. And so when you're thinking about this community as a whole, what you want to think about, if you think about, the bell curve, right, which is like where's the average? So you want to, think of the group as a whole, and then you want to zero in on one person, okay? So if picture yourself on stage, that's saying you're going to present your product or your service, and it's like a concert. You've just got a crowd of people in front of you. Rather than speaking to every single person, you need to figure out who's the one person that's right kind of in the middle of the crowd, average person on the bell curve that's going to be in this community. So you're going to take them and you're going to build an ideal client or an avatar around them. If you've ever seen the movie Avatar, it's, the avatar, it's this whole, body, this whole creature that is created based on a human. A human is running them, but it's very detailed, and they know the details down to like facial features. Everything is very similar. Anyways, that was totally a tangent. I don't know what that had to do with the video, but I love that movie. And so what you're going to do when you're taking who is this average person, I'm going to have a list in my product. This is going to be, to be a fairly inexpensive product. It won't be much because I want it to have everybody to have access to it to really get through the questions. But I'm going to share just a few of the questions that will be on that list and ones that I shared with my team members. And it's really awesome because every single person that was on the call actually came back to me afterwards and had tweaked and, had just dialed in their avatars so closely, and I'm reading it and I could really get a sense of this as a real person, which is exactly what you want it to be. So you want to know details like where do they live? Okay, and it doesn't have to be a city. It doesn't have to be they live in San Diego, California. It could be that they live in a small town of less than 5,000 people, or they live in a big city. They live in the coast. My avatar lives in or near a major city, although they like to be more on the outskirts, more suburbia, and they live on the coast. They live in the coastal states in the U.S., or somewhat in Great Britain, London, that area. But anyways, there's a lot of different things. But what do they live? Where do they live? As in their environment. What kind of environment? What kind of city, country, suburbia? Where do they live? What is their relationship status? Are they married? Are they single? Are they in a committed relationship? Is it complicated? Do they have kids? This is all going to go to their time and their worries and their pain points. You also want to know what kind of industry, what kind of job they work in. And there are some really key things that we get into, a lot of the questions, which we're not going to have time for, and I'm not going to give you all, because then you wouldn't, then that would take away from my product. But there's a lot of questions that I will go further even more into that have to do with their daily habits. So you want to think about their daily habits, their daily schedules, and answering those kinds of questions are actually going to give you a pretty good clue. If you're scheduling your newsletters at a certain time of day, then you want to send them as close or right before that window of when your ideal client is actually opening your email. As in you want to be at the top of the email as much as you can so that you're not falling below into the next page and you never get seen. There's so many things like this, and it's so easy to pass over the fact of not sitting down and taking time to do an exercise like this. But it's huge, huge, huge for your business. Do they exercise, and if so, how often? Which that goes to a pain point. That also goes to stress management. That goes to, do they have things that they're doing in their life to manage their stress or not? You also want to know, obviously, like their annual household income. You want to know all this, so many different things. But yeah, Javier, as far as how detailed you want to get, I would say that the more details, the better. And it was so awesome. One of my team members actually sent me a revised avatar. So he created one avatar when we were on the call and then came back afterwards with a totally different one. And actually really went into not just who that person was, but into their hopes and their dreams. And it was so beautiful. And I just remember going back to him and being like, oh my God, I love this girl. I love this new avatar that you've created. And I'm so excited to see emails that he starts creating and fashioning towards that customer. So anyways, I hope that helps, Javier. And for anyone else that has a question for me, please go to www.yourfreedomtrack.com. Send me questions, send me comments, and I will do a video just like this for you. So again, my name is Sabrina, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.